Hi friends, Renee Keese here with Carolina Creative. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I'm here with some more card making ideas for you. I had such a great response from my video the other day using a 6x6 sheet of designer series paper that I'm going to do another one today with a slightly different layout. But again, you can focus on those papers that have a very large print. Just to give you an idea of what I'm doing, I went and I was playing with this is a retired paper, but this is Flight and Airy. And you can see it's really cute, but it's kind of busy with all the birds. So it looks like it's most of the sheet until you open it. And I'm going to show you how to do this little peekaboo style. And it'll use most of the paper, not all of it. I will have some left over, but you can see how it will use the paper. Today, I've gone back to the Charming Duck Pond because this does have some of these scenic papers. And so I'm going to use this one today, and I've got my piece of cardstock here in Granny Apple Green. And this is just a half a sheet, so it's already 8.5 by 5.5. And now I'm going to flip the camera and show you how I'm going to cut and what I'm going to do from here. So you can now see my trimmer, and I've got the stamp set I'm using here. So my card, like I said, is already 8.5 by 5.5, and I'm going to cut 1 inch off the bottom. And that's what's going to give me that, I call it the little peekaboo. That's going to give me the space that I need to use the rest of that sheet. So I've got a strip here. I know I can use that for something else. I'm going to go ahead and score this at 4 1/4, just like I would a standard card, as if it had a normal top. But what you're soon going to see is that it does close and it will reveal. In fact, if I put the insert from my inside, you can now see it a little bit better. So that's where the inside will go, and I will have a strip of paper there as well. But what I'm going to do with my paper now is I'm going to take this 6x6. I already know I need it to be 5 1/4 going across to fit my card base here. So I want to cut, I think I've already decided off this side because it has more design there, so I can spare losing part of that design. So I need to cut off, I gotta think this through, 5 1/4 out of 6. That's 3/4 that I want to cut off. It's just a little trim. So that gets me all the way. I'm just measuring it backwards and making sure I've got the design going the way I want it. So yes, that is what I'm going to do. 5 1/4 gives me the width. And now I'll have a cute little strip that I can use for something else, for another card. And I want the total card to be, I've done it at 4. I'm going to start at 4, and if I need to give it a trim later, I will, because I think I can make this fit with that little bit of overlap, or I'm just going to shave off a 1/16 to give me that top edge is probably what I'll do here. So now, yes, I am going to have another piece left over, again, that I can either use the back side or what I consider the front side and still put another Charming Duck Pond scene on there. So I should be done. Nope, I have to cut my strip. Now I need actually, because of the way I'm going to do the bottom, I really only need a 3/4 inch piece along this bottom. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure on the other side and just cut shy of the 1 inch. It is right on, we'll call it 3/4. Might be a smidge over, but that's okay. All right, that's the bottom. And so now I'm actually done. I'm done cutting. I can move the trimmer and we will start playing with what's going to go inside the card. I had selected from my Charming Duck Pond the Have a Lovely Day to go on the inside of the card, and I'm going to stamp it in Granny Apple Green to match my card base. And I think because it's not a large sentiment, I will go ahead and just center it right there on the card. The fun thing with this is that you do have a little bit of design on the inside of the card, and I think that's kind of cool. I am going to go ahead and glue this insert in. I just find, I mean, you could actually make your insert a little smaller, but I find it gives me a good base, and I think it helps me to line things up. There we go. So I've got glue on the edges. Let me go ahead and put this inside, centered up. And now what I'll do is put this strip on the bottom. And I could have made it a little bit bigger. I could have gone closer to 1 inch. That's okay. I'm gonna make it come up so I have a white stripe on the bottom. That's not so bad. But I want it to come up and match. And then I will put the top half of the scene right here. So that means that the lily pads are going to match up, but that the duck scene will be right there. So in order to do this, I'm gonna put glue on the bottom strip. And then I'm gonna actually close the card and line it up with the card closed so I can see how close to get it. That'll help me. And I think it'll be fine having that little white strip on the bottom. I think it's just, you know, just another stripe. It's just another part of the decoration, if you will. And because I use liquid glue, I can slide just a bit if I need to. I might not have gotten that centered up perfectly. Yeah, it's just a little off kilter. It's not bad. Okay, so the next thing is to go ahead and put, I'll turn this sideways so it'll be easier for the viewers to see. So I'm gonna put glue on this. It's a bigger piece, so I will do the edges and then a little bit down the middle just to make sure it's going to stay adhered. And so now I'm simply gonna line this up. I do wanna leave just a tiny edge of green just to kind of frame it. But the big thing is to make sure that the two, okay, let's try this again. And that's why I like to use liquid glue. Make sure that the two papers do line up. There we go, they do. So I have a little edge on the bottom, a little edge on the top, and an edge on the sides. And that's what I was hoping for. So now I did use a sentiment from Charming Sentiments. It says, wishing you the happiest birthday. And I embossed it in Lost Lagoon, which is the dark here. And then it's on kind of that balmy blue. So it kind of blends right in with the water. And I want to go ahead and glue that on there. Let's do that. But you can see how you could very easily stamp right on here. You could take, you make me happy, happy birthday, have a lovely day. But you could easily stamp a sentiment right onto this paper and not deal with punching one out. This just gives it a little more interest to have it in a different shape. I could have even used a bolder color. So now I'm gonna put a little Wink of Stella on these cute ducks and give them some shimmer, and the little ducklings too. And I think just because this shows on the inside, I'm gonna give some of these lily pads a little splash. Now I am thinking this needs just a little bling, and I didn't grab any of my rhinestones. So let's see what I've got handy. Pearls? No, I don't think pearls are quite the right thing. Oh, you know what I do have are the In Colors. This is even better. The In Color gems for 2024 to 26 have a lot of the colors that'll go with this. So I had already cut this in half. I'm thinking a little of the Pool Party, not Pool Party, what is this called? Summer Splash. I will get it right in a minute. These don't have, they're interesting little facets on there, but they're not real shiny, sparkly. So I kind of like them because they are subtle. So let me just sprinkle, I think that's all I want. It's just like that. A couple of gems on there, and I've finished a card. So very quickly, I did use most of a 6x6 sheet of paper, but you can see when I hold the card up, you get the whole scene, and then it opens up. So you still have a little design on the inside as well as the scene on the front. I did go back. Another retired paper was this Masterfully Made. They're gorgeous papers, but you can see they're very bold and very busy. So I did the same design idea where I've got the strip at the bottom. So when you first look at it, it looks like it's all one piece, and then, you know, surprise, peekaboo, you open it and it's different. I did make this as an anniversary card. So very quickly, 2 ideas, another way to use up some of this bolder, large print 6x6 paper. If you like what you see here, keep following me at Carolina Creative or hashtag Carolina Creative. I've got products and projects available, and you can also find me on the Stampin' Up! Network. Thanks for joining me. Stay tuned for the next video.